Welcome to Inside the Force. I'm Greg Grunberg, a.k.a. Snap Wexley.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Welcome, everyone, inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to the galaxy far, far away.
Yes, indeed.
As we dive into everything Star Wars, of course, we'll bring you up to date on all the news from all the films, TV shows that are in production, as well as all the reviews and stuff from all other comics and games and whatnot. So we're into it all the way. All the way.
Day for day.
I think last time we talked, the big thing we talked about was the rumor for episode 8, the title.
Right.
There's been 2 Wednesdays since we last recorded, basically.
Yeah.
So Star Wars show, I think if you guys are watching that, it's a new show on their YouTube channel, official Star Wars show. So it's episode 3 was last week, which was the Chewbacca mom, right? The big thing that's going on there.
Oh, yeah.
So real quick, thoughts on that?
That's funny.
Viral thing?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's so humorous that she just consistently gets a big kick out of it, which is, it's very enlightening. I'm just glad people aren't I haven't read any of it really, but just bashing her or anything like that. They're instead just saying how awesome she is for, finding
in fact,
happiness and all this.
There's a guy I work with, Charles. He's been on some other of our shows, but not this one particularly. But he's a big reseller of toys, hot toys, right? I'll just say he made a lot of money on Chewbacca masks. Not even kidding.
Had he already had some?
No.
Okay, so
as soon as he
saw that video,
as soon as it hit, as soon as it started going, I think he went and bought. I'm not even joking. I think he went and bought something like 70 or 80 of them.
Yeah, he catches the wind
Sold
of
every one of them
of those
for a profit.
Yeah.
And now that you can't get them unless you get on eBay and pay an
crazy.
astronomical price for them. Yeah, it's crazy. So that happened. I'm just a little, I'm not. I shouldn't say confused. I'm a little. Not about that. I'm just saying, when I first heard about the Star Wars show.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I kept thinking a behind the scenes look and exclusive look. Do you remember? Yeah. You remember basically what hyperspace used to be?
Yeah, the fan club. Yeah.
Unless you were part of hyperspace, there were things that you saw that no one else could see. I remember I saw the episode 1 trailer before anybody else did because I was a hyperspace member. Because it was a pay thing. You paid for it.
That's why I never did it.
Right.
Pay it. Wow.
But if you wanted that exclusive content, you had to pay for it, and I was willing to pay for it because I was like, I want to see this stuff. You saw behind the scenes of the making of and stuff. So for some reason, when this, nothing is really, everything's monetized now, so you don't have to pay for it, right?
Right.
Star Wars is making money on your YouTube channel, so it could be free. But so I just right after first heard that, I was like, oh man, we're gonna get some behind the scenes insight on the background, the making of
these new movies.
Yes, the TV shows,
and comics, and TV shows, all that.
But it's been completely opposite.
It's been more just fun, just games and trivia and
basically what I'm saying is that how is it any different than what we do?
Yeah,
or what any of us making Star Wars podcasts?
Yeah,
because we could have interviewed her.
Yeah, probably.
Or we could have reported the news that they, that they talked about. You know what I mean? It was stuff that you either had already read, some of the stuff maybe a little insight.
They did a couple of exclusives. Like they did one like the first episode. It was like
the UNICEF thing.
Yeah,
the two
couple things there.
Force for Change stuff. That you don't maybe see, but and by no means I don't want anybody to think that I'm knocking this thing or something.
Right.
But I'm just saying like it is different than what I anticipated it being.
Yes,
I just anticipated it being something I would. Like honestly, like yesterday, I forgot it was on.
I saw the headline for it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta watch that," and then just slipped my mind.
But you didn't, right?
I didn't watch it. I will watch it. Yeah,
it's like it's funny. I just thought of I was watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Did you listen to my demo?" I was going to, but then I just moved on with my life. That's what you just said. I saw the headline, and then I just kind of went on with my life.
And then he got really sad.
Yeah, he did. It's like, so I just, I was hoping to, and I hate to say, I really hate to say it. It was something I was hoping to look forward to every Wednesday because I was going to see something that I'd never seen before, or I was going to hear from an interview because, besides this last one, which I haven't watched yet, they finally talked to somebody. They talked to Dennis Muren, who's technically a former special effects. He's not current.
Yeah. So
it's like I just felt like we were going to talk to like I don't know a Rebels lead designer or something like that.
Why haven't they talked to these guys yet?
I can't believe Filoni hasn't been like the main guest on this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I guess he's on Recon a lot, but
still, you can talk about behind the scenes stuff of Clone Wars
or what's next. Or season 3 coming up. A little tidbit. I don't know. It's
just a great venue to give some of this information out. Like, you don't have to wait.
Absolutely.
You don't have to wait to do everything for Celebration. You can do the big stuff in Celebration, but these little things just drop us some unused concept art or some potential storylines of different books or comics or games or whatnot. Like talk about 1313 or what, I don't know. It's just little things like that. Talk about this and that. Yeah, they talk about the talk to that Church's band, which was entertaining because they're just interesting people. But it's fine. It's fun. It's a fun show.
It's a fun show.
Format there, goofy, loose kind of format.
But I feel like they're getting. I'm looking at it. Right? They're getting a ton of views.
Yeah. But
I feel like with exclusive stuff, you would be getting millions.
Yeah.
That's just me. And like you said, it could be from previous stuff. Just think like a segment, like let's just say I was show running this thing, right? If I was producing this thing, like if there was a segment on there, just a real quick segment of a look in the Lucasfilm archives.
Yeah.
They did that, the episode 7 Blu-ray, right? Where they go in the archives just to go back and see just like some old models or, a look, like you said, just a look at maybe a behind the scenes look at something we haven't seen before. I don't know. Like that stuff is really cool to me.
Yeah.
And I think every Star Wars fan would kill to see something like that. You know what I mean? I probably just gave them an idea and they're probably going to do that now. But that's,
I got it.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
If we were doing the official Star Wars show, that's the kind of stuff I would get into because, yes, you can do exclusive reveals for future stuff coming, and maybe you do want to hold out for Celebration. Mm-hmm. People that pay to go see that kind of stuff, which is fine. I can understand that, but like you said, it's hearing from people working on stuff right now, or like you said, Clone Wars or the prequels, or it's just that's the kind of stuff I would be putting out there because that's exclusive. Because these people that are on here right now, any podcasts could probably get these people.
And just kind of hearing you talking about it made me think, it seems like they're trying to just do more of the just trendy, hip kind of things. Like they got the current viral hit, which is Chewbacca Mom. They got Churches, which they're a big band now. They got Duncan Jones, who's making Warcraft right now. They all these little things, and they're keeping it fast and entertaining for that kind of audience.
Yes,
they're not. I guess maybe they're not trying to gather the cinephiles, these guys who study Star Wars. I don't know, because they could easily do stuff like that, like have a trivia segment
Yeah, it's honestly, it's very late night talk show.
Yeah.
Where it's about promoting something.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, they're promoting Warcraft. They're
Yeah.
promoting the Chewbacca bomb. You know, it's like it's a lot of promotion that's going on as far as who the guest is. The guest is dictated by the promotion, right? I mean, that's
interesting. I mean,
which is fine. Again,
Yeah.
which is fine. That it works. It's working. You know, but there's a picture. You know, like I wish I would have saw this, but there's a picture. The thumbnail for the show, episode 4, has X-Wing miniatures on it too, because they talk about tabletop games.
yeah, because
I think Fantasy Flight stops by, so stuff like that.
Andy's a fan of that game.
Oh yeah, so anyway, so it's current stuff. You know, like Fantasy Flight's obviously getting bigger and pushing more Star Wars
cool
stuff.
that they're showing the games.
Sure,
and they need to show the card game.
They do need to show the card game.
Just leaves room for us to do a good show, like for how we want it to be.
I know. It's just. I just wish that was. I don't know. I just wish that was part of it more.
Yeah.
I just thought I was getting more behind the scenes stuff versus just a little talk show.
Right.
But hey, I'll watch it. I'm still gonna watch it,
of course.
All right. So where we at on the news?
The news. Well, we'll get into. Well, I mean, episode 8 is kind of quiet. They wrapped. Is that about right? On Ireland.
On Ireland.
They wrapped for Ireland. So they're moving on. And if you're not following the stars of the film on Instagram, do so. I mean, John Boyega hasn't really been doing much, I don't think. But Daisy Ridley's decently consistent poster on Instagram. She's been posting like her workout trainings and just location kind of stuff. Nothing, of course, from the film set, like what they did from episode 7, and then suddenly stopped. But it's just fun following these guys on Instagram and their kind of little comments about the film here and there. But anyways, besides that, they've wrapped. They've moved on to wherever next location, maybe some studio stuff, Pinewood stuff. But really nothing else on episode 8 besides what we talked about last week.
Yeah,
nothing.
Possible title.
Yeah, nothing crazy. So we'll get into some Rogue One stuff in a second. But other than that, the other movie that is being produced is the Han Solo origin film.
Yeah.
Which there was an interview with Lawrence Kasdan about it. Right, just brief little things here and there about it. Basically, he kind of talks about how they're going to start filming the movie in January of next year, 2017. And I guess he's confirmed to be Han Solo, but the actor,
it has not been Lucasfilm officially.
Yeah,
announced.
which is weird. Alden Ehrenreich is the guy basically playing young Han Solo, and there is no really further information about it. But Lawrence Kasdan is really excited about it. What him and his son are writing, and he's excited about the directors and what they're going to do with it. And the directors of it are the same guys who did, I think, the Lego movie, Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
Yep.
He says, it's what they're doing. He says they're funny, they're imaginative, they've had a great time working on the film, and they're started shooting in London in January for a 2018 release, and it's actually scheduled for May, is what he says. Interesting. And then he talks about working on episode 5 and his time with that. But I don't know, man. It's just I think I'm starting to be okay with the actor that they got for him. I think he'll be good acting wise. He's a good actor. Talking to Corey a little bit about it. My brother Corey, and I think he's not too fond of who they've got to play him. But I kind of feel like that they're going to try to make him younger, like maybe 10 or so years. I don't know. I just got that feeling that they are going to do it the right way.
I was talking, me and Chad were talking about this the other day, and I'm more on the belief now, more on the 60-40 side, that I think this is going to happen. What I think is honestly going to happen.
Yeah.
I think they're going to they're going to do the Tony Stark Civil War.
You do?
Thing.
You
I
think
do.
that?
I am feeling like they are going to make this person look. They're going to digitally put a young Han Solo.
Do you think they're going to try to make him look completely like a young Harrison Ford, or do you
Yes.
think they'll try to
No.
mesh it a bit?
I think they're gonna digitally make it look like a young. I feel like the actor that's hired, and part of it is because that's why I don't think they chose like a big name.
Yeah.
Someone that's. I feel like they are gonna the person that is acting and auditioned got the mannerisms down and got the inflections right, but. I think that I just think because here's the reason, and you may be getting into this, but one of the rumor Rogue One things, with the reshoots, right? The rumor is that they're shooting him in now that he's been cast.
Huh?
They're shooting Han Solo as a cameo
Yeah.
to set up for his movie, right?
Yeah.
Because what is this Rogue One news that you're getting? No, what news was this you're getting into?
Han Solo.
Oh, it's the Han
movie.
Solo one. Okay,
but it does lead into
so leading into Rogue One, yeah. So it's like, there's these reshoots, right?
Yeah.
That the rumor is that executives are hating the movie for some reason. Which
well,
is
they were
bullshit.
saying that it was shown to audiences, and the audiences hated how it was going, but they weren't shown to these wide audiences. They were shown to the executives. And they didn't even say that they hated it. You're right. They were. What they're saying now is that it.
Oh, so if like focus groups have been seeing this thing?
That's what the rumor was, like focus groups.
Oh, okay.
But no, they are executives, the high ups, and yeah, you're right. They are the ones who are, I think, ordering the reshoots. Supposedly, I guess because it's not. It's not in the same vein as the other Star Wars movies, which I guess people are taking this too gritty, too dark. That's one way.
Again, that's the thing, right? Is like it's not supposed to be
No, it's
part
not.
of that. The episodes, the episodic.
That's true. So it's like they almost like had that idea in mind, and they watched it, and they're like, I don't know if this will fly. I guess they're afraid of losing their money, losing their audience, the huge audience. Like you'd get a totally. I don't know, man. I feel like
you'd get more of an audience.
Yeah, I think you would. Well, I think you would. You wouldn't get the kids. I feel like the way
Correct.
it sounds like this won't be something you take a 7-year-old to. Maybe I don't know.
Well, that's possible.
But
if it sounded like it was going to be as dark as everybody was talking about it being,
yeah,
yes.
I'll be hesitant if it is. But it's like like my age, teenagers, and especially people who grew up with the original trilogy, I think, are wanting something like this.
But my thing is if this is true, it's like you read the scripts, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you approved the budget, you signed off, you greenlit the movie. It's like, and you hired a director that did Godzilla, right? So what do you expect?
that's just my whole thing with reshoots, anyways. It's like when it goes into Batman, Superman, and I'm like, weren't you there watching them make the movie?
Yeah.
Didn't you have a producer there or executive producer there sometimes to go see what's going on? Like, how are you catching this now? I guess I don't know. I guess I can understand you're not there every single day.
And
Maybe it cuts differently.
And there's ways to edit
Yeah,
things. And
yeah,
there's a way
yeah.
to put music into dramatically alter. I guess the feeling of a scene. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like, okay, Vader's a rumor again. Vader cuts down a ton of rebels.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Didn't you watch the dailies? It's like that's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So
and they are saying though the reshoots are also to maybe include a cameo of somebody, which could be Darth Vader or Han Solo.
well, I think Darth Vader's has already been in the movie.
Yeah, but I rather that maybe more of Darth
Okay.
Vader or include Han Solo.
I think it has to be some kind of Han Solo thing, because the other thing I read from somebody who tweeted that. I think someone reported some tweets about it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted your opinion on this. It's like, so apparently this movie, Rogue One, like it ends literally like 5 minutes before episode
That's
4
pretty much
starts.
confirmed. Someone said that. Yeah,
Yes.
someone some executive or someone actually did say that.
Yes.
It leads right up to it.
And they said it almost like they didn't know that was going to be the case. You know what I mean? Like they were like surprised, like, oh, so this is like right before the movie starts. You know, it's like,
and that's why one person was saying how that might mean it won't be Han Solo as the cameo because they wouldn't put that actor so close to Harrison Ford.
That's what made me think. Yeah, that's what made me think the face thing. That's what I was getting to.
And that would be easier because you can just digitally age his face closer to Han Solo.
Because
Harrison Ford.
I admit, people that haven't seen it, you should see it. But in Civil War, man, that was pretty dang good.
Yeah.
The young Tony Stark, young Robert Downey Jr. Like it was
off-putting in a way. Just as like, holy crap, how did they do that?
Yes,
it was just like
that's weird looking.
Yeah, the body, the body was such of a young man, a fit young man.
Even his voice was younger.
Yeah,
it's like
it was pretty. I want to watch that part again because it was so.
But it was really good with Michael Douglas in Ant-Man.
Yeah,
because they aged Peggy Carter and Howard Stark, but Michael Douglas, they were like, he was younger. He was like 20, 30 years younger looking, and he was really good too. So I was like.
You remember X-Men 3 when they did Patrick Stewart?
That's right.
I mean, it was good back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Now they did Jeff Bridges in Tron.
Tron was
very bad.
Yeah,
that was. I think that might have been one of the first times I've seen that, or they even attempted that. It seemed like. Yeah. But that looked like a full CG person. That wasn't That wasn't like
putting his face on someone.
Yeah, that wasn't like motion capture.
Yeah.
That didn't look like motion capture. Because they do it when they're trying to make it look completely different, like Snoke or Maz.
Yeah.
So that really that's what. But what is your thoughts about it being that close to literally as prequel as you can get?
Yeah,
to episode 4.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, and if Han Solo is in it, I will be fine with it if they do try to make it look like Harrison Ford. But just for the fact that they are leading the story up to that, I'm cool with that. Because I was always thinking when they were doing these kind of stories, it's going to look a little strange if they did this Rogue One story. Because this is a 2016 movie. It looks like it's digital, it's HD, and then you watch episode 4, and it looks like it's made in the 70s.
Yeah,
but that's so weird. But I'm fine with that. I can suspend my disbelief for that. I think it'd be cool. How close are we talking? Like, I wonder because I was thinking today, like, are they literally going to have a scene at the end of this movie where they hand the plans off to they give it to R2-D2? And he goes on to the Tantive 4, and like they ride off.
I do think that's what's going to, or they transmit him,
Tatooine,
or they just transmit him to R2 somehow.
Yeah. But like it'd be so cool.
But actually, isn't that what is that? The plans that she inserts to him?
Oh, that's right.
Is that what that is?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so
they get
too.
to Princess Leia.
So somehow Leia's got to be in there. Yeah,
maybe it's cameo for Leia.
Maybe it wasn't there the biggest rumor that but see how
daughter.
But it has to be Carrie Fisher though. But again, is
the face.
Are they putting the face on her daughter?
They could do that.
They could do that too.
That'd be even easier. I feel like.
Again, I almost feel like that's what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you really nail it down, this is what I was not arguing with Chad, but this is what me and Chad were agreeing upon was, how you can't. Harrison Ford, like that, he just his likeness is Han Solo. You know, it's like when you play Battlefront right now. Mm-hmm. That's Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
that's Carrie Fisher. That are the characters. That's their faces.
All the covers of all these expanded universe books.
Absolutely, it's like you're putting a different. So if someone had not seen or are as in depth in Star Wars as we are, if you put a different face on Han Solo on a book cover, and then you hold Han Solo, it's like someone would say there's two different people.
Is this a fan?
Correct. Right. So I don't know how they can explain that. And honestly, that would really, in all honesty, that would really disappoint me.
Yeah. Yeah. Think of your action figures. Like, are you going to have the Alden version or the Harrison Ford version.
Yeah.
Action figure. I was just thinking, like, talking about motion capture in their face. If they go that route, I feel like George Lucas would just be laughing his head off when he watched it because, like, they're doing what he would do.
Yes.
George Lucas would be all over doing this.
That's exactly
Digitally
right. And he would get
recreating
trashed for it.
Yeah. Like
by critics and all alike. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And critics may trash it. I don't know. They may. But they're not trashing Ant-Man. They're not trashing Civil War. Now, Chad did bring up an interesting point that I'll throw back at you. Does that change, or has your feeling changed at all about in episode 8 if we see a Ewan McGregor playing an older Obi-Wan?
Oh, episode 8.
Right? Because you're talking about the same thing then.
Well, no, we talked about that where that would be even easier for them to do, like digitally make him look older as a Force ghost.
Yeah, but it still would not actually be Alec Guinness, right?
I mean, if they make him look like Alec Guinness, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Like, but by using CG motion capture, or by literally just making him look older as he did in episode 3.
That's what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's different.
I think
it's what we're arguing a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Chad said the same thing. He's like, "No, I would be okay with it." And I don't know. I don't know if they just made him look older. Made Ewan McGregor.
He might look like Alec Guinness.
He may.
So,
he may resemble.
If it works, it works.
That's what I'm saying. But he doesn't talk exactly like him.
Right.
Exactly like him.
Right.
So it would be a different Force ghost than what we see in. Or do they? Or should they just do a CG Alec Guinness?
Man, I mean, they can probably make his voice sound. I wouldn't be surprised they can do that. I mean, how much did they do with Marlon Brando in Superman Returns? They digitally recreated.
Oh, they digitally, they took his lines and kind of manipulated to say what he wanted him to say.
So, but they had that dialogue of Marlon Brando.
But his face was completely CG'd again. Yeah. So I don't, because I think we're both in the belief that there will be some Obi-Wan stuff done by him.
Yeah.
Between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, okay, so at what point
suddenly, boom, he becomes out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what point during that span can you get close to episode 4 where you're like, okay, wait a minute, that's not the same guy?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about.
He's got the gray hair.
Because that's what we're talking about with this guy playing Han Solo. So if someone's okay with Ewan McGregor, if we're okay with Ewan McGregor doing it, then why aren't we okay with anybody else, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they could be thinking. That's what Kathleen Kennedy could be thinking. Well, okay, so people are okay with Ewan McGregor being, but again, they haven't done it yet. They have a
20-year gap.
Yes, they haven't closed that gap yet. So maybe this is the test. I don't know. I for some reason you see. Yeah, the only reason I told Chad I was okay with it was that Han Solo is young in episode 4. Like he's young. He's in mid to late 20s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So his likeness is not going to change that much from 15 to 28 or whatever, right? Now Obi-Wan being somewhat in his 50s, I guess, or something like that. We haven't seen him young. Mm-hmm. That's why Ewan McGregor was a fine cast. So that's why I'm okay with him being playing a little older. That's so I threw out, okay, so it'd be like this. God forbid, but it didn't happen. But what if Harrison Ford had passed maybe 10 years after episode in the 90s or something like that?
Yeah.
Would we have been okay with someone playing an older Han Solo in episode 7?
Not at all.
Not at all, right?
Him in there, no.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because no one had seen an older Han Solo. Uh-huh. So aging him 30 years and someone playing an older Han Solo, would someone have been okay with that?
Absolutely not.
I agree.
I don't think anybody. No one would be okay.
But that's what we're talking now with Ewan McGregor playing an older, replacing that. But we're even talking about replacing that character.
But see, I think if they're going to continue with Hugh McGregor, as they should, they have to make him look like Alec Guinness as close as possible. And like if they can digitally make his voice as close as possible as well, then they would.
I mean, I think they
should.
could. I think they could make him look pretty close, but I think there would have to be some digital stuff to make him look identical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think again that all of this talk right now. That's why I kind of am leaning towards them. I believe that that's what they're going to be doing with the Han Solo thing. I got to believe that they will make him digitally somehow look like Han Solo.
I mean, it helps that
Harrison Ford.
that they have actors who do resemble those guys. Because I think this Alden Ehrenreich does resemble young Harrison Ford to
Yeah.
His hair's a little different, but I think he has that kind of small mouth, that kind of facial, that little, those boyish looks that he had when he was a kid. So I'm eager. I'm eager to see what they'll do. I mean, I would like if at Celebration Europe they would just give us an image of what he'll look like as Harrison Ford, as Han Solo, and see, like, don't worry, this is what he's going to look like.
Yes.
We'll stop freaking out for the next year and a half.
It may. It may.
I mean,
They may.
ugh.
Actually, more than that. 2 years, right? 2.5 years. A year and a half is
18,
episode 8.
20 yeah. Well, I'm also thinking of Harrison Ford Han Solo. So if they show a picture of, because if they show a picture of what Han Solo is going to look like in the Han Solo movie,
Yeah,
see.
that's not a year and a half from now. That's 2.5 years from now.
2018. So today's 26th. This is 2016.
Is it coming out May or December?
May.
Oh, okay, so 2 years
Yeah.
from now. Yeah, 2 years from
Yeah.
now.
But yeah, if they drop the bomb that Ewan McGregor will be in episode 8, oh man,
Yes.
or something.
Well, there's something that's going to be announced, I'm sure. But then, Filoni's got that big announcement, whatever
Yeah.
is coming, which I think is, I'm narrowed it down to, I think Luke is coming to Rebels. Is what I think he's.
Luke, yeah,
That's what I think the big reveal for him, or it could be
Harrison
Thrawn.
Thrawn. That's right. I think it.
You think it's Thrawn?
If they're going from
Just
that book, 'cause they show, that's another thing. That's another news that kind of.
Oh yeah, what was that? What was that? The picture of what book?
It was a picture he tweeted. It was a spine of a book.
Yeah.
It was a blackhead said Star Wars on the spine. He's like, some things in Legends do come true or something
Yeah.
like that. It's meaning, he's pulling a character from Legends book into canon. And that spine of that book, people are, it's from Heir to the Empire. No,
Yeah, the Empire.
Heir to the Empire, yeah, the Thrawn trilogy books. And so people think, oh my gosh, it's Thrawn. Thrawn's going to be in it, which is, I think, is very likely since he's tweeting a picture from the book and saying this. But I'm trying to think of other characters from that book. There was that one Jedi, Joris Saboth, if that's how you say his name. He was a big character in those books. Well, the first book, I guess. And he could be in it, or some of the other, Pelion, his Thrawn's like sidekick guy, could be in it. So, but I think it has to be Thrawn. I just feel like it has to be.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is. Yeah, when I saw that, I thought maybe it was just referring to Star Wars, like
Or
the
Mara
movie.
Jade.
Well,
She was introduced into that book.
that could be. Yeah, it could be.
She could be Emperor's Hand. Season
Yeah.
3, she can be one of the villains in season 3.
Very much so. But that's where. But part of me was that's why because it was just Star Wars. It didn't have a title anywhere.
Right.
So that's why I thought it was almost just he just took that picture because referring to the original movie, and we've seen Leia.
Yeah.
Just made me think it was going to be Luke,
Luke
or
would be
maybe
cool.
maybe it's Han.
I mean, Han would fit. I think Han would definitely fit.
Yeah.
Just because he's all over the place in the galaxy, he'd run into these guys somehow.
I did want to bring up real fast too. Well, I don't do anything else on the Rogue One thing.
No, we're good.
Yeah, that was. So anyway, I did finally find and download what I think we've talked about several times, but I've downloaded the revisited episode 4.
Yeah.
And I skimmed through it and watched a little bit of it. Gotta say, kind of wish Lucasfilm would have did some of these things.
Yeah.
Because it was really good.
Yeah.
Especially the end battle.
Uh-huh.
not all of them, but most of the model shots have been replaced, and there's a lot more just background fighting going. It's a dogfight. So there's because if you watch it, there's the regular version, the normal version of Star Wars. When you see like a TIE fighter following an X-wing, there's nothing else going on.
Yeah.
It's like they forgot another. The battles.
Yeah.
He just added more TIE fighters in the backgrounds
Did
and
he,
stuff.
but did he? Because in the special edition, I guess, or maybe in the original, there were only like 5 or 6 TIE or X-wings or
No, there's a
little
lot.
squad.
No, there's.
I'm trying to think of that shot that they added in.
No, because here's the thing: is that it's funny because you say so. There's Red Squadron, right? Red 2, Red 5, but there's also a Gold Squadron, and I think there's a Green Squadron that's there too.
You're right,
but we just don't hear them sound off.
Right.
We just hear Red Squadron. So there's 3 squadrons that are in that. Yeah, and there's like
And he puts all that in there.
yeah, they're just in the background
Is it
fighting.
seamless? Is it, like,
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it looks really
I'll have
good.
to find that.
I've got the file. I'll get it to you. I'm just, and like, but there were things in there that I didn't agree with. Like he took out the Jabba the Hutt scene.
Yeah.
Which the newest version is the best version of Jabba, and I think that scene is, I think it's pretty. I've always said I think it's pretty relevant to what happens to him and his story.
Yeah.
And you get that glimpse of Boba in there,
Yeah.
for the first time. So I think it's a pretty important scene in there. But there's a couple things in there, that the approach to Tatooine, like he actually removed some of the shots that the special edition put in,
Yeah.
which I was fine with, but yeah. So there's just a couple of different things, shots that he fixed or that were just replaced. I don't know. So, I don't know. So anyway, if you get a chance to see, I think he's still working on the Empire Strikes Back one. I think he's been doing this for like 8, because that file I downloaded was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I think he released that about 8 years ago, and he's still working on Empire, and he's wanting to do like Jedi, and so props to I think it's Adawan or something like that's his name. But I think he's doing. See now the when he did A New Hope back then, I don't think he didn't do as much. He didn't do like reshoots. Like he's doing reshoots for Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Like he got for example, he recreated an entire
Like Echo Base, didn't he?
Echo Base and like a new Carbonite Han,
Right.
And he's reshooting that stuff and then inserting it, which is crazy because then so A New Hope he was basically just like fixing background stuff or adding background stuff,
Right.
so just crazy. Anyway, okay, so moving on, I just want to throw that out there. So before we kind of close out here on the canon stuff, see news-wise on anything else, nothing really from Rebels yet.
Not yet.
So the day after our last episode, tickets for Star Wars Celebration Orlando went on sale May 25th. So you can go and buy those tickets now. They are at Star Wars Celebration. I think they are StarWarsCelebration.com, right? I think you can.
Yeah.
For 2017. No, wait a second. How do you get...
It's a little... Like you go to their main website, and I think there's like a tickets tab. or
Orlando
something.
tickets, yeah. Then you can click on Orlando tickets. You're right. So, so if you get obviously a little bit of a discount if you order them now and versus on site. So adult tickets are now you can get a 4-day pass for $150 on site. They're $170. A 4-day pass is basically just about as much as a Friday Saturday pass. So you might as well just go ahead and it's $140 if you buy just a Friday Saturday pass. So you might as well just buy a 4-day, to be honest. And I suggest you go all 4 days anyway. that's what we're going to do. And it returns to Orlando, which is thrilling because it's closer for us.
Orlando, I love going down there.
Yes.
It's just a great place.
It
It's
is
a great convention center.
Great convention. Although I will admit, Anaheim last year was nicely done, and it is huge. It's bigger than Orlando's.
Jeez.
It's actually, I take that back. It's more compressed because Orlando was only 2 levels. Remember, and it's long. Like to get one end to the other is like a 1,000,000-mile walk, right? Well, Anaheim, it's all right there, and it's because they have like 5 levels.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's just stacked upon each other. So in Orlando or in Anaheim, the first floor is the convention, the expo center, the vendors and all that stuff. Next floor was like the breakout rooms and stuff. You can, and then up there was even another breakout room, and then they had the big arena, was where they did the big talks and stuff. Kind of what kind of like the main theater in Orlando, but it was bigger. Yeah, because it was more rounded. But Orlando, you'll do more walking in Orlando, but it is all right there. It's all right there. It's all good. It's all good. So we will be there. That's April 13th through the 16th, 2017. I'm not sure if we're going to fly or drive. I don't know. We'll probably fly, but
yeah, I'm still working out some financials on that whole trip. Flying would be.
What do you mean? You got a whole year.
I know, but because the tickets now, you get tickets now. But I'm trying to think
you don't have to get flights now. Flights
that's what I'm debating about flights because it would definitely be cheaper to drive for us.
It'd be cheaper, but how much do you value your time?
Yeah,
because that's a whole day,
basically. Yeah,
we could. I mean,
you lose
Anaheim.
Half your Thursday, half your Sunday.
We left Thursday morning, East Coast time, and we're still able to get on site by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Morning. So now we'd be on the same time, but if we left Thursday morning, flew out,
we'd go back in time
with 2 hours. It's a 2-hour flight, so it's like we can leave at like 7, get there at 9, be at the convention by 10, versus a full day of driving. I mean, we stayed the night the last time we did, right? Then we on the way down,
I think so.
We slept at the end of Georgia. And got up and went. It's a longer trip, and on the way back sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm all about flying. Now,
I love flying. Yeah.
Now flights, if we because I've been booking Disney trip, Disney trip last year and this year, and if we buy flights now or 2 months before, they're pretty much the same price.
Yeah. Okay. So, and Frontier you can't look at Frontier flights yet because they're they're cheap for us.
But I just found airports. Delta flights for cheaper than Frontier for Disney. So it's just a matter of just keeping an eye out, and seeing what's there. But it's so I value if it was $1,000 to fly, that's one thing. But it's not. You're talking about $300.
Orlando's definitely cheaper than Anaheim to fly.
Yes. And there sounds like there's going to be a very good majority of us going to this year. I think for next year's celebration. I want to say that I think there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 7 of us so far are going to be there. So
cool.
That's the most we've ever. I think the most we ever had was what 5, 6. No, we had 6 that one year. We drove down. That's the year we drove down, right?
Yeah, me with Corey.
Me, you, Corey, Chad, Charles, and John.
Yeah.
So 6 of us. Yeah, so
took the band.
So that same crew is going, and I think Russell's going to go. So that's 7.
Is Corey for sure going?
Yeah, yep. he's for sure. I don't know if he's flying. Again, we haven't talked about flights yet, but I think everybody's kind of leaning towards that. Anyway, having a completely side conversation on
it's all right.
Celebration, but that's what we do.
Hopefully you guys bought your tickets while we've been talking about it.
Correct, yeah, and then now we can't go. All right, I do want to briefly mention, unless you got anything else before we get into this.
No.
I do want to briefly mention what we're going to be leading up to. I think it's going to be kind of the July launch, but the whole change that's happening with the 21 Network. I'll keep you posted as we go on each week, but there are things changing. that we're going to do for the network as we go. We'll keep teasing you about it. But one of the changes we're going to make to this show, which I want to tease right now for next week's show, is we're going to have 21 Network's very own Russell Johnson, who if you listen to our comics podcast in the comics, he was on that. He's on the 21 podcast. He's directed a bunch of stuff for us. But he's highly involved in the network. But he is going to be our kind of on this show, be our guest comic reviewer.
Yeah.
So next week, Darth Vader 21 comes out and Poe Dameron number 3 comes out. So we will get the full reviews from Russell on those books next week. He won't be on the show live here. It'll just be kind of an insert, but and you only know that if you listen to this show because we're not going to treat it like an insert.
Yeah,
it'll be seamlessly inserted.
You won't know. It's magic.
So anyway, but that's kind of one of many things that are going to come change wise to the network, to this show. But again, we'll keep revealing that as we go and kind of give you a timeline on when everything does change over. And DC's going through this big rebirth thing. This is almost a rebirth of the 21 Network in a sense. So, all right. So let's talk canon stuff as we get into the end of the show here.
Alrighty then. Well, for me, from the book Ultimate Star Wars, I will be talking about a certain vehicle that you all have seen from one of your favorite Star Wars movies, Episode 1. It is the Single Trooper Aerial Platform, also known as STAP. That I didn't know, but it's called STAP.
Didn't know.
The STAP. They probably say STAP. Single Trooper Aerial Platform. Appeared in Episode 1 and the Clone Wars. This is the speeder that the battle droids drive, basically. If you're trying to imagine it, if you haven't Googled it yet. Manufacturer, the Bactoid Armor Workshop, which I'll go ahead and say right now, guys, learn these manufacturer companies, because if you play Star Wars trivia games like I have, you get hung up on these daggone questions. Because I played this trivia game with a student of mine the last week of school. And he won because he guessed better than I did at some of these manufacturing company names of Star Wars. I was an idiot. So, Bactoid Armor Workshop manufactured the STAPs. This is a single trooper aerial platform. That's the model. The type is patrol vehicle. So, like I said, this is the speeder, that really long vertical speeder that the battle droids fly around in, hover around in on Episode 1. You see a lot in that film. They're slim, lightweight. They're mainly for reconnaissance and patrol. They do have blasters on them, though, which we saw in Episode 1 when Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon deflected those blasters to destroy one of them, which saved Jar Jar's life a second time. And they're inspired by some civilian vehicles called air hooks, which I'm curious to see what those look like, since they apparently look pretty similar. Re-engineered for better performance, reliability, and they are specifically made so that the B-1 battle droids can pilot them. Fueled by little fuel cells, high voltage fuel cells. And something I guess kind of interesting I read here is that it's highly agile, and it receives transmissions from the droid control ships to guide the pilots, which I think is actually kind of interesting because we all know that the Trade Federation control ships in the space control the battle droids, but it kind of sounds like maybe here that they actually give them piloting controls as well to control these little speeders. Interesting. I don't know. I thought the battle droids can kind of do that themselves in their programming, but maybe not. But they are very fragile, and they have got a lot of weakness because the battle droids themselves are exposed, and it's easy to blow them up. So they're good for patrols, not good in a battle, as they are quickly disposed of. So yeah, the Single Trooper Aerial Platform, STAP. And that is your canon profile from me. What do you got?
Well, I was looking at the vehicles here in the book, Absolutely Everything You Need to Know. Just interesting, there's a couple in the numbers things here. So the travel. Do you know what the travel range is of a Jedi interceptor using a hyperdrive booster ring?
14 parsecs. I don't know.
You know that thing. So
Yeah.
the range is 150,000 light years.
Let me see a picture of that thing. I think I know what you're talking about. The ring thing. Yeah.
The ring with the ring.
100 and what?
50,000 light years.
150,000 light years.
That's the range.
Insanely fast.
3,600 G is the maximum acceleration of a tri-fighter in open space. Not sure what the tri-fighter. What was the tri-fighter? The tri-fighter?
Is that the ship? I think I know what that is. It's the separatist ship that kind of has like these like the blasters that kind of arc towards the center. I think they kind of like. Let me Google this. This is 2016 after all. Let me Google this real quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Google
1,500 Vulture droids. That's what's carried on a Trade Federation battleship. 1,500 of them.
1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought it was. Tri-fighter.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Droid Tri-fighter. Sorry, yeah. 192 V-Wing starfighters. That's what's carried on a Venator class Star Destroyer. A Venator class Star Destroyer.
Super cool.
Anyway, some little tidbits on the.
Some tidbits.
Yeah.
Your way. Very cool.
Anyway. All right. That'll do it for this episode of Inside the Force. Again, thanks for always listening and joining us on the show. We have some changes coming, so stay tuned for that. We will be back next week to talk about all things Star Wars. Now, I did forget to look up one thing that I'll talk about next week, but I think that that Lego animated series is starting here soon, isn't it? That
Freelanders?
The Freelanders, yeah. So I think that's coming soon. So we'll get the dates on that, get that to you. Again, look for Russell next week on the show as he gives his comic review. We will talk about all the news coming out this week. Go check out the Star Wars show on Star Wars channels. Star Wars' YouTube channel. The 4th episode just aired yesterday. We will we'll probably watch the 5th one and talk about that a little bit next week on our show. All right. That will do it for us. For Casey Cooley.
Traveling through hyperspace, ain't like Dutson Crops, boy. Without precise calculations, we can fly right through a star or bounce too close to a supernova. And that'll end your trip real quick, wouldn't it? So shut up and sit down. That's kind of what he said, too.
That is kind of what he said.
I feel like I said that before, but I don't know. I love that because that reminds me a little bit of, was it Billy Madison? Chris Farley's role in Billy Madison as the bus driver. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And he's like, hell, turn this dang bus around that ruin your precious field trip flies pretty dang quick.
Yeah.
But good. Han Solo. Classic Han Solo line.
Classic Han Solo. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Of course, we're at InsideTheForce.com. You can get all the shows there, all our social media. We can subscribe to us on YouTube for the 21 Network. This show is on Twitter. On iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. Keep going to those places. Subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. He's Kryptonian1138 on Twitter. I am D Cottingham21. Give us a follow. And let us know if you got any questions or comments. Snap.
Chat.
Which
is not what we're on.
No, but I did have... no, we talked about that. Sorry, I wanted to hit up our suspiciously brown email that we get occasionally about some topics to talk about.
Oh yeah,
but we already hit on it because he brought up the whole his Thrawn in season 3. He also I did forget to mention he sent us they sent us I'm not sure if it's a he or she, sorry, but they sent us a clip, an old clip from Mark Hamill, back in I think it was in the late 80s or early 90s, of him talking about how George Lucas mentioned if he would be up for returning as an older mentor like Obi-Wan in 2011.
What?
To do episode 7 in 2011.
I've heard that he had a conversation about returning as a mentor, but I've never heard that specific date mentioned. That is incredible.
He said in 2011, would you be up for doing that? He's like, well, I can't predict the future, but that I'll be around, I guess. But yeah,
Sure.
that would be, so that would be 30 years after 31. So that wouldn't even be 30 years from, that would be 24 years
That's
from 27 years from episode 6.
That's right, when
Not
he
30.
was writing. So the treatments for 789.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost a year before.
Probably.
Maybe the year before he made the merger happen.
Yeah.
See, I just it makes me think, like, George Lucas, did he plan everything?
He did.
Did he plan everything back in the 70s? Which it sounds like he did.
I think
Or
he's,
along the way, like maybe 83 or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
just incredible. He's a good man,
Pretty cool.
people. Smart
The
man,
best.
smart man.
thanks for listening, guys. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.